All right. Yeah, I do have a good Mondays. I think, yeah, I got a Monday in the queue.
Cool.
What's it called?
Business, living with regrets.
Okay. Business, living with regrets. Take one.
Microphone check, 1, 2. What is this? Is we good?
We good. We on.
We gone. What's happening, family? It is your man, CRB Jr, Courtney Robert Brown Jr. here at Big Boss Filmworks Motown Mafia Podcast, episode a lot. Here with my partner in crime, Louis Stevens. How you feeling, bro?
Man, I'm great, man.
Good to see you. Good to see you. You know,
How
again,
about you, bro?
man, back. You know, just 2 weeks down in the Dominican Republic.
Must be good to get your head right out
Got
that
my
way.
hair right. Got my focus back. Ate a lot, but came back hungry.
Ooh,
You know what I'm saying?
there you go.
I ate a whole lot, but I came back real hungry. You know, it's one of my favorite quotes from hip hop, LL Cool J. Whatever you do, don't call it a comeback because we've been here for years.
That's right.
You know, this is what we do is figure out ways to get to what we trying to get to.
Yes.
So, Monday episode here. You know, we always try to keep some balance. You know, share with the family out there.
Prosperity, baby.
This journey has been God has been so good. You know, in fact, down there, man, you know, at the ocean, you really get a chance to get your mind right and do some reflecting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's humbling because sometimes, you know, I'll be getting a call, I'll be at the ocean, I get a call from one of the family or friends that are still locked up or sitting down.
Mm-hmm.
And it puts it all in perspective, man.
Absolutely.
So we try to share, you know, some things with because God has been really good to me and mine, and all praises due to. And so with that said, though, Mondays, business. Those of you who have chosen the entrepreneurial path or are thinking about the entrepreneurial path, trust me, in this thing you will learn to live with regrets. I get that from one of Hova's songs, first album, last song, Reasonable Doubt. Learn to live with regrets.
That's right.
On this rise to the top, you said this for you, the long way from it. On the rise to the top, you're gonna have to learn to live with regrets.
True.
And I have a library of them. If I had it to do all over again, I would not change a thing. But with that said, that just tells you how good it's been because I got a lot of regrets. Business. I mean, I ain't talking about personal. I'm talking about business regrets. So when you don't know that the good Lord is trying to make all your dreams come true, and you just are so stuck that you can't see. So this one, though, really, I'm talking about, man, this whole hip hop thing. You know, Hova just got put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
Hip hop's now the biggest music genre on planet Earth. And of course, this all started up in the Bronx and in Harlem in basically the late 80s.
Right.
I moved to New York in the late 80s, right? When people like Dougie Fresh and KRS-One, Rob Bass, these people were only known like basically in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Sugar Hill Gang had come out with Rapper's Delight. That had been like the first, you know, if your girl ain't acting right, then you take her friend. You know, it just, but it wasn't, and no one knew. And so when you're in an environment, and so Russell Simmons at the time has a little clothing store down in the village called the Fat Farm. He had just started a record company called Def Jam.
Def Jam.
started a little management company called Rush Management. There's a white guy that has aspiring rap dreams by the name of Peter Nash out of Brooklyn, who's up at Columbia with my man JC. Me and Peter Nash get cool. He's telling me about this thing that he signed with this company called Def Jam, and he's working with this guy called Russell Simmons. You guys will later know who are hip-hop historians. There became a group known as Third Base. Long before there was Eminem, there was Prime Minister Pete Nice and MC Serch. MC Serch.
Step into the AM.
The gas face.
Oh.
Pop goes to Weasel and the Weasel goes Pop.
Come on.
Yeah. So Pete walking around Columbia University, he's got this Def Jam Letterman jacket on. Few people kind of heard Def Jam wasn't unknown, but it was not.
No, it wasn't the Goliath.
The juggernaut that it was to become.
Right.
People clowning Pete because they talking about you a white boy, you can't rap, and that rap shit ain't gonna last no way. This is what people are saying. Now Pete played hoop, and my man JC played ball, so they was cool. They cool, me and Pete get cool. Nobody is believing Russell because Pete and Serch weren't initially. They were both solo acts. It was Russell.
Oh, okay.
It was Russell who said, "No, you guys aren't gonna make it solo. I'll put you guys together, do this Third Base thing." Serch could dance and shit. Pete had to look tall, athletic look.
Yeah.
You know, Russell was smart. Russell was smart with that. But Pete looking for money to help out with his management.
Mm-hmm.
Russell and them are actually still looking for investors at Def Jam. Now, at this point, Pops is in the middle of that Bohemian run. I'm in New York cleaning up the money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm walking around Columbia College, University, 116 in Broadway, in front of Alma Mater. Sometimes you catch me right. I got $100,000 in a Gucci briefcase strolling through the Ivy Leagues. I'm clueless that my man is like, wow, we had some money, Russell and them are trying to do this, they got plans to do that, yada, yada, yada. I don't think, who did Def Jam end up partnering with? One of those Goliath companies.
I think it was Columbia.
Somebody, but anyway, at this point, guys sitting on six figures, you could have won to Russell, you could have got 10%, 5%, Assuredly, I'm pretty sure, and later when I met Russell, I should have asked him that. Shout out to Russell Simmons, by the way, a really stand-up guy. Later, our paths would eventually cross because of the clothing business. But shout out to Russell, shout out to Kamora, shout out to the whole Russell, Rev Run, the whole
crew.
Real good people, solid people. But I'm pretty confident that if I'd approached Russell Simmons in 1987 and said, Russ, I got 100 large, I'd like to invest in that, I could have got 10, maybe, at minimum 5% of Def Jam. I think when Russell exited Def Jam, he sold his shares. Well, I think him and Rick Rubin, when they exited there, because this time Leo Cohen and Island, Def Jam Island, they turned into a big company. I think when Rubin and Russell exited Def Jam as majority equity owners, their payout when it was all said and done was $120 million. So let's see, that means if my 100,000 would have got me 10% of Def Jam, 10% of 120 million is 12 million. If it had bought me 5%, that would have got me 6 million. But I think that deal would have been, and the thing is, it was real. Like Pete was there, me and Pete, we smoking weed, drinking beer, talking. He's telling me that Russell and them are trying to raise money. He needs management help. Learning to live with regrets. Oh, but it would get worse. It would get worse with me and this hip hop thing. Now, let me just add on to that. So he introduced us to Search. Still, they ain't got really no money. I mean, the kind of money they're touring with Ice-T. I remember when he came to Third Base, came to town. Me, Eddie, Jimmy, 50. We all went backstage, and they introduced us to Ice-T, MC Light. But that's the night we met Tupac because he was still with Digital Underground.
Right.
Oh, I get.
Dude,
I'm telling you, when we met Tupac that night, he was going in the refrigerator of the back room of the like where the entertainers hang out before they go
the
on
green
stage,
room.
right? He's stealing a unauthorized like 12-pack of Heineken and some sandwiches. He tells Humpty, God rest his soul, and the rest of the people from Digital Underground that he's riding back in a car. He's not riding back on the bus with them in New York. When I say them niggas didn't have no money, they didn't have no money.
Yeah. What was this, like 1990, 91?
Now we're up like to 90, 91.
Yeah.
We're right. We getting a couple dollars with the Nigerians, and the Pakistani plug is about to take off. But assuredly, if we'd have cut into Tupac that night and been like, God, we think you got a future. We got $200,000. Can we be your manager? Sign you to an exclusive contract. He'd have dropped that Heineken and threw them sandwiches in the trash and have been like, well, where do I sign? Who knows? This guy's going to become one of the most iconic.
The Black Elvis, basically.
Black Elvis. But back to the Pete thing again. Living with regrets, and when you don't know, and when you ain't figured it out, you ain't figured it out. So Pete introduced us to Search now.
Mm-hmm.
Search goes on, of course, to work with Nas. He produced Nas's
Searchlight Publishing.
Searchlight Publishing. I know who I paid. Searchlight Publishing. Right?
Yeah, that song about the tech on your dresser.
That's all Search behind all of that, right? And
it's got a sting, man.
So if we take Pete up on his offer, invest in him and Search, all of that plays out with Nas and getting a piece of it. If we'd have just been getting points off of where a couple dollars, but believing in these guys, believing in Pete, I guess the moral, believing in the people who are in front of your face.
Yeah.
And not disregarding lesson, I guess, one of the many lessons from these stories. Don't disregard people's dreams, and just because it seems far-fetched to you, and maybe you're doing a little better than somebody at a time. Pay attention to opportunity.
That's right.
Because it's a misnomer in society. They say opportunity knocks, but most of the time opportunity taps and whispers. You gotta be listening real careful.
Yeah.
You gotta be listening real careful. Later, same era, I meet Tony Childs, Kevin Childs' younger brother. Now this would have been me connected. I'd have had to connect a couple dots because I didn't really know who Kevin was. I just knew that Tony was living a different kind of life than the average college kid. But they knew that, in fact, he was starting a record company, even though if you read, great book, Crack Era, if I'd have connected those dots, it may not have worked out well for any of us. But surely he was plugged in to every rapper in Harlem because at that time Kevin was getting away with money than any of the rappers were. My man Lenny, shout out to Lenny Burnett. Lenny Burnett and some friends have started a magazine called Urban Profile. Didn't go anywhere, but showed some entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
At this same time, a big guy by the name of Quincy Jones was starting a little magazine by the name of Vibe. I'm going over Lenny's place as this is all happening, right? Lenny's telling me that him and this guy, Brother Keith Klingscale, and there was another brother, the three of them that started Urban Profile, they would all come over to be like the brain thrust. Quincy brings them in to run Vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Lenny is allowing me access to parties where, like, there was a party promoter and a guy had started this record company called Bad Boy. He had this artist named Christopher Wallace. They called him Biggie Small.
Yeah.
Now again, this is Well, when Lenny and them came over to Vibe, that was the late 80s. They had access to all of the artists. But I think the night I'm thinking of when Puff was giving this party, Puff and Big was already kind of big, but they wasn't big. You know, if you watch like the movie Notorious or you follow hip hop, even after, what was that, Born to Die?
Oh yeah, you talking about yeah.
The first
Ready to Die.
Ready to Die. Even after Ready to Die, Puff and Big damn straight didn't have no money. Puff had a couple dollars, but that was right in the middle of the Pakistani plug. Puff ain't had the kind of money we was handling. Not 95, 96. So Lenny then got us, it was down at the Marquis Marriott. Puff was giving a party. And somebody said something like, you want to go backstage and hang out with Puff and them? Or back to the suite? And I said some shit like, what I want to go talk to the niggas for? Just, I'm telling you, again, 100,000, maybe a little bit more. I bet you though, 95, right after, was that Born to Die?
Yeah, Ready to Die.
Ready to Die. Maybe 250, you could have bought a piece of Bad Boy.
Oh no,
250,000.
Didn't
Because I think their advance was only like 60 large.
Yeah, didn't BMF get a little.
I ain't gonna get into money laundering or what might occur, but according to Scott,
According to Scott,
that Puff was taking some money from the streets. But again, put it in context, everybody in hip hop was getting, because the only people again who had money at this time were people in the street. But yeah, Scott was just saying, according to, Scott does some in-depth research. Meech and T gave Puff some money.
Yeah.
Meech and T gave Irv Gotti and Murder Inc. some money, he said.
And your man's Blue.
Leon Blue Jr., Black Man's Jeweler. Blue was giving hip hop people money. I know, what's my Biz Mark used to always come by there. Blue would help Puff out doing party promotions. And he was from Brooklyn, so he was big in all of them. Yeah, shout out to Blue. And Scott also said that Meech and T gave money to Puff, Irv Gotti, Murder Inc., and So Def, Jermaine Dupri. So what I'm saying, it wouldn't have been like a big stretch to cut into one of those guys that we had access to and been like, you need some money? We getting plenty of that. Can I get a piece of this action? I ain't had time. I ain't want to talk to Puffy in 95. I don't have no time. I guess if Puff ever sees this, he'll be like, and now I have no time to talk to you. But don't be that way. Don't be that way. Don't be that way. Don't be that way. We still got some mutual friends. And then, the last one on just the regrets of all so many opportunities. Because I was right there. I'm in Harlem. I'm based, my store's in Harlem. I'm inside the Mark. Blue, 2 stores down from me. My man LB, he running the Palladium. I told the story, Mariah Carey wanted to go backstage with us. Told Mariah she was cute, but they were cuter. Just, man, when you don't know, you don't know.
You don't know.
And that money make you stupid too sometimes. That money will make you stupid. So shout out Devin Robeson, this young lady I was dating. Shout out, hope all is well with your life. Great girl, actually. Another regret, different story. She's working at Tommy Boy Records, I believe. She was all in there because she was working. She had been working. The more I think on it, the crazier it gets. So she's working for PMD, which stands for Parish Making Dollars, which is the other half of EPMD of Eric Sermon. Eric Sermon and Perry Smith make up EPMD. When they had went separate, they each did their own thing. She ended up working for Perry Smith at PMD, Parish Making Dollars. They needed money at PMD.
Yeah.
In fact, because they couldn't afford to keep paying her. Now, I'm blowing, I don't know, I got easily a $30,000, $40,000 a month lifestyle going right now. People in the hip hop industry just weren't seeing no kind of money close to like that. So every day, she's my girl, she's my woman at the time, so she's telling me what PMD going through and some financial challenges. It never even clicked in my mind because as late as 95, 96, no one knew really still where this hip hop
No.
thing was headed.
No.
I ain't, and I call myself business savvy now. Lord knows we had a lot going on in my life, and as this was going on, I had a lot of things going on personally, and obviously with the family, working for Pops. Pops had me involved, and then I got my friends Eddie and them. It was a lot going on. But so I don't even indulge in the thought of that when she hits me that PMD is having some financial troubles, that there might be an opportunity, like the property. Hey, Parrish, you need a couple dollars.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got a big library that you got a percentage of it. How much is the publishing worth?
Oh.
What owning 5% or 10% of EPMD's publishing be worth? What was that?
And that was a plug, no biggie.
Oh, okay. That's Hollywood. And then so she leaves PMD, Parrish making dollars, and she goes over to a company that was out back then called Tommy Boy Records.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Boy did a one-off deal with this guy called Ja Rule. Never forget it. She comes home, we're still in this loft up on 121st and between Manhattan and 8th. And she comes home all excited. And she's like, we just signed Ja Rule, we just signed Ja Rule. It's gonna be a couple coming. And I'm like, Ja who? Ja what? I don't hear about this shit. And I say some real ignorant shit like, ain't none of them niggas getting no money. I don't know why you be so excited. And I admit it, I'm a fool. I'm not nearly as smart as I sometimes could be. Sometimes I've actually been just flat out stupid. But when you don't know, you don't know.
You don't know.
And she's telling me that this guy's gonna be big. I don't even think Irv Gotti started. I don't think Irv Gotti even started Murder Inc. or it wasn't known. If Murder Inc. had been formed,
Yeah, Murder Inc. don't come into the picture until Jay-Z and DMX come into
yeah.
Now it's the super group that they were supposed to be forming.
Right. So despite the fact that my woman's helping manage Ja Rule, and he's a young struggling actor in desperate need of financial support, and I love Ja Rule's music, actually. I don't connect the dots. I'm so just waiting on the next carrier to come bring me my $30,000 a month allowance. And, we had bought a club and we were starting to do our own thing. I'm going down to see Wendy Williams host my man Ed's club at Indigo Blues on Thursday night. Wendy looking for a raise in advance. She's struggling. I'll tell you, for $25,000, I could sign her to a lifetime contract. Half of all that bread she get now, Lord knows she's getting to a bag. You just don't know, man. You just don't know in this world and business. So when opportunity knocks, and then on a whole different note, not beyond hip hop, but from that same New York era.
Mm-hmm.
We're up on East Campus at Columbia. Now he's known as the billionaire Ben Horowitz. Back then he was just Ben.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that he had did an internship at a company called Silicon Graphics in a place called Silicon Valley.
Oh.
And that they were going to change the world. Now this is at an age where there are no cell phones, they're just pagers.
Mm-hmm.
And he's telling us that they're gonna be devices with no wire. And we were all Trekkie, Star Trek fans. And the shit he was describing sounded like Star Trek.
Yes.
Talking to each other on devices, and you're gonna be in California, and I'm gonna be in New York, and you're gonna be able to pick up this thing, and we'll be able to talk and see each other.
Mm-hmm.
The fax machine was new at this point. The facsimile machine. So they just went over our head. So anyway, though, he tells us this company, Silicon Graphics, is on the cutting edge. I think at that time, Silicon Graphics, I don't know, it might have been a penny stock.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up going public for $100 million or something stupid. One another play where, $10,000 invested would have brought you back. That'd have been bigger than the hip hop play. Well, actually, the play that would have been bigger than the hip hop play was when Ben eventually goes on his own after he's hit a little lick with Netscape, and he starts Loud Cloud because smart people are always too smart. So he started Loud Cloud Computing. We were just talking about putting our content on the cloud. Well, Ben started one of the first, 2000 cloud computing companies, but the world didn't think that the cloud was a good idea. That the world couldn't see what Ben knew, which was that there's going to be so much data being used that that these devices aren't going to have enough memory for them, and there'll be a whole industry in. But because nobody believed in cloud computing, his company Loud Cloud ended up struggling. He switched it went to a software company called Opsware. I think when the company started, Opsware was at 25 cents a share. When Hewlett Packard bought it, they bought that company for $14.50 a share. Yeah, that's why he's a billionaire now. Yeah, I was in the circles. Now we were right a couple times. Unfortunately, I'm man enough to say the times I were right, I was right a little bit, but the times I was wrong or didn't see it, those were bigger licks. We hit some licks on the things we did right that we caught some trends in fashion. I probably knocked off at him and Coogie's and Joe Boxer, first guy to ever bring that to Harlem. I was raining money. That was a nice lick. Some of our real estate things we bought early that served us really well. So really, really well. A couple, things we bought for 10,000 that we were able to let go for 200. Those are some good deals. But I'll be honest, man. I got some business regrets, and it happens. And even now, even though we're playing catch up, can't go into all, but some of the new medicinal industries that are open, we have some investments in, and but people were telling me to get in that space years ago too. But better late than never. So a cautionary tale on this Money Monday, man. When people are around you, listen to what they're saying, even though they ain't got no bread. And it don't look like it's going to be something big. Be careful, man. Ladies and gentlemen, be careful. You never know. Don't discount people's dreams.
That's right.
Don't play people short. Sometimes that shit that sound crazy. Because I'm telling you, somebody telling you about a cell phone and how it worked in 1988 sounded crazy.
Yeah. You never would know.
It sounded really crazy. Somebody telling you that these same guys who are rapping for free and who are going to street guys to buy outfits for cover shoots, that some of those same gentlemen will one day be worth $250, $500 million. They're going to be in charge of billion-dollar companies. Nobody can see it. Sometimes you gotta follow your gut. Follow your gut and you gotta think outside the box. So, business, gonna have to learn to live with some regrets.
That's right.
Got anything, Luke?
That's about it.
We're about
Hit
good.
me up on Flyers Plus Graphics.
Holla at you, man.
At Instagram.
There you go.
And watch out for Making the Mafia coming soon.
Like, share, subscribe. Motown Mafia Podcast. Big Boss Filmworks doing what we do. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Holla at you, man. Peace. It was just time to really tell a great untold Detroit story because it kind of covers Detroit at its zenith.
Very interesting story.
We decided that we were going to make a movie
All right, Rich Rossi with you with Motown Mafia. I'm with Courtney
Louis Stevens.
Courtney Brown.
Courtney Brown Jr.
And Alan Al Prophet Bradley.
And this is an entrepreneurial, inspirational story too, because again, you know, I'm a real estate retail guy. You know, that's what my skill set is. But I'm a businessman, so I was like, you know, we're gonna do it. You know, sometimes when you got a dream, you won't have all the answers on how you're gonna do what you're gonna do.
What made this one unique was not so much the crime, but the intertwining with Detroit's history and the Motown era and kind of the economic decline of Detroit. And it's really the story of a family. And from some perspectives, has a happy ending, like you said. For others, it didn't have a happy ending.
Right.